We turn to the report of the Selection Committee and its convener, Gordon Kennedy.
Moderator Gordon Kennedy, number 13, convener of the Selection Committee. Let me begin by expressing my extreme thanks to all the members nominated and appointed to serve on the Selection Committee this year. At very short notice, they helped produce a very high-quality list of possible nominees for a very significant piece of work, from which we are able to bring 4 names to the General Assembly today. In Section 2 of our deliverance, the General Assembly have the opportunity to thank all the members of the Selection Committee for their work this year. At our meeting on Tuesday lunchtime, the Selection Committee asked me to raise 2 matters with the General Assembly. Firstly, it turned out that many members of the Selection Committee did not know they had been nominated to serve or were to be appointed by the Assembly until their names appeared on the big screen. We hope that in future, a way can be found to let proposed members know that they are being nominated to serve on this committee before it happens. Secondly, Mike Goss spoke at the time of the Selection Committee's appointment about the short timescale the committee had for its work. It is, however, in the nature of the role of the Selection Committee that it will always have to work at short notice. The Selection Committee this year would wish to draw to the attention of the Assembly and the Assembly Business Committee the nature of the work of the Selection Committee and the shortness of time for that work, especially in light of a move to a 4-day General Assembly next year. Will the present system for the appointment of the Selection Committee and its reporting to the General Assembly remain practicable with a shorter General Assembly? We hope that consideration can be given to this question and, if necessary, changes made to the role and work of the Selection Committee in advance of next year's General Assembly. The Selection Committee this year is pleased to bring the following nominations to the General Assembly for your approval. Very Reverend Derek Browning, Very Reverend Sally Foster Fulton, Professor Nancy Lukes, and Reverend James Stewart. You're getting your Sunday name, Jim. In bringing these names, we have sought to nominate people with experience of working with trustees and with governing bodies in organisations which are not the Church of Scotland. Members with experience and knowledge of the Church of Scotland, the working of the General Assembly and its committees, and a knowledge of the Radical Action Plan, which is presently guiding the life of the Church and the work of the General Assembly. The nominations of these names is presented for the approval of the Assembly in Section 3 of our deliverance. It is not within the remit of the Selection Committee to make further nominations or give any instructions to any groups at all. However, we believe it will benefit the work of the working group, which the General Assembly agreed to set up on Monday, and which we are nominating 4 members to serve on, if the General Assembly were to encourage that one of the members appointed by the General Trustee would serve as convener of the group with General Assembly. We believe that this would help the work of the working group to have it convened in that way. Moderator, on behalf of the Selection Committee, I present the report and move the deliverance.
Thank you, convener. I have notice of a comment, so let's receive the report first of all, and then we will move to the comment. So, Section 1, receive the report. Comment from Moira Taylor-Winterskill. Oh, right. Everyone wearing black, it's really hard to pick out people.
Moira Taylor-Winterskill, 345. I was on the Selection Committee, and I have to say I have quite grave concerns about the procedure. The short space of time and the lack of advance knowledge of what's going to be done by that committee means that the discussions can be a little bit perfunctory, and I'm concerned that it means that people who are not as well known to the Assembly, but who do have really excellent qualities and experience, are passed over. So I just want us to think about that. If we're going to the bother of having a committee, let us at least have a real genuine purpose for it. The names that have been put forward are excellent, but I just feel that the process is a little bit, I don't want to use a word because it'll be the wrong word.
But hey, the shaky head action just summed it up very well. Convener, do you want to?
Thank you, Moderator. Thank you to Mrs Taylor-Wintersgill for your comment. As I hope the Assembly heard, the Selection Committee were raising questions for the Assembly Business Committee to consider over the next year. And I'm sure they've heard the comment that was made and will take those points into consideration. Thank you.
Thanks, Gordon. Alistair May.
Moderator, May 219. Just very, very briefly, the convener mentioned the charge from the committee that one of the Assembly nominated members would serve as convener of the group to look at the work of the Assembly trustees. That was passed over quickly. I just would want to reiterate, I think that the confidence of the Assembly in the trustees would be greatly enhanced by that, and I do think the Assembly just might want to affirm what the committee has said there. I don't have a motion, but I just hope that the Assembly would affirm that.
Yeah, so we will get to that because that's section 4 of the deliverance. Okay, so section 2, thanking the Selection Committee. Oh, sorry, it's just gone. You think this needs read? Thank the members of the Selection Committee for their service on the committee this year. So approved in both places. Section 3.
I'll just read it again, Moderator. Agree to nominate the Very Reverend Dr. Derek Browning, Very Reverend Sally Foster Fulton, Professor Nancy Lukes, and Reverend James Stewart to serve on the Assembly Trustees Working Group.
Approved in the hall and online. And section 4.
Do you want to speak? Go.
Moderator, on section 4, want to thank Dr. May for his question. The Selection Committee is limited in the range of options we have towards instructing other bodies to do things. And conversations were held with the Principal Clerk's Office, and this wording seemed to us to enable the Selection Committee to make a strong suggestion to the working group. But that's as far as we could go with the wording of this, and I hope Dr. May hears that. I see him nodding, and hope that the Assembly understand what we're trying to see here. Is that okay?
Encourage the working group to appoint one of those members appointed by the General Assembly as convener of the working group.
We approve. So that's approved in the hall and online. The deliverance as a whole. So approved in the hall and online. Thank you, convener, and thank you to your committee.